What's up, guys? It's your boy here. I've been sick for the past week, basically, which is good times. But yeah, that's why I haven't been very active. But I'm just now starting to feel better. My ears feel weird though. Everything sounds really loud and quiet at the same time. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the point is, AKB48 released a single, and no self-respecting Japanese pop idol channel would go without at least discussing a little bit the new AKB48 single, am I right? So here we are. I try not to do reviews because music reviews don't really do that good, but it is what it is. AKB48 is kind of like one of those, probably one of the most recognizable, so I guess people would care at least a little bit. But for Karakon Winku, as I'm going to call it with my terrible Japanglish accent, with a cold, I'm suffering from a little bit of whiplash because, see, all this time I've been sick, I've pretty much been listening almost non-stop to Black Sabbath's entire discography. And I just finished Dehumanizer, the 1992 album that saw the glorious return of Ronnie James Dio for a single album and not even a year before he left the band again. But whiplash is a real thing, going from that to this. A 32-year-old album to a single released in 2024. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of whiplash. That's okay, I need a palate cleanser. As far as this AKB single is concerned, I actually kind of liked it at the end of the day. And AKB48 were never really on the cutting edge musically, AKB48 has always been sort of about the idol and the business, I guess, more than anything else. You could say AKB48 musically are kind of I don't know, maybe Kiss or something like that. I listened to the beginning of Heavy Rotation for the first time, just because it was on autoplay after I have YouTube Music, whatever. And those guitar tones sound a lot like early Kiss. Anyway, I keep getting distracted. So Colorcon Winku, however you want to call it, is interesting. I saw a comment saying that this kind of sounds a little too close to Kashucha Every Day. I think that's what it's called. And actually, that's one of my favorite songs by AKB. Is that off their 4th album? Hang on. I have all of my CDs within arm's reach now, so I can actually check these things real quick. Oh, this better have a track list on there, or else I'm gonna freak out. Yeah, it does. Is it on that one, or is it on hang on, I'm looking Hashide Penguin. It's got, there it is right there, track 9 out of 17 on disc 1. Dang, dude, they were busy back then. Anyway, so they say it sounds a little too much like that song. I can see where they're coming from. There's only so much you can do with the Pakel Bell canon sequence transitioning into a circle of fifths, sort of 2-5-1 cadence, authentic cadence. But that's kind of what you sign up for with any mainstream Japanese idol group, at least the female groups. So I'm not really fazed by that, I guess. Harmonically, yeah, it is kind of close, but it does its own stuff enough to really set it apart. Plus, sonically, this song is completely different. With the I mean, yeah, you have the sequenced horn section, the fake horns, which, I mean, are all over the place on almost every AKB single ever released, practically. Okay, well, not all of them, but, the upbeat ones, And so, but, like, this has its own things. There are a lot of, like, chromatic parts that sort of, like, push it towards different key changes that sets it into a different direction musically, I think, than Everyday Kashucha. I don't know why I'm dedicating so much time to discussing one comment someone made that I saw on the Twitters here, but that's what I did, I suppose. I don't really have any comments about the video or the members themselves because I don't know any of them. But I mean, the video, I guess people are saying it looks a little cheap. I don't know. I'm not really that well versed in AKB music video production since like the last 10 years, so I can't really comment on that. And I'm not really much of a music video guy anymore. I used to be, but nowadays I just like to turn on a song and just listen to it. Like, stare intensely at my screen doing nothing else except for listen to the music. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's how I do sometimes. One of the things I will say about the mix on here, though, it does kind of sound a little noisy. Someone did mention that the vocals sound a little muffled. I think I know what they're saying. I don't know if it's necessarily the vocals are muffled in as much as it is just like the instrumental sounds it's verging on noisy, where you have a sonic landscape and this stereo sonic landscape, if you can imagine that, and it is pretty much as full as you can make it, and it gets into a danger zone where it starts to maybe sound a little too much for the sonic landscape, and I started kind of listening for individual parts within the instrumental, not really the vocals, but in the instrumental, that are sort of encroaching on the frequencies of the vocals where they sit, because I felt like in those mid to higher ranges is where like a lot of the noise was starting to happen, and it's definitely in like the reverb. There's tons of reverb in this, too much, I think. Not in the vocals, but in the instrumental. There's a lot of reverb. I would say too much personally. And it kind of contributes to things feeling a little bit on the noisy side. But as someone who has listened to literal noise music before, I guess, it'll take more than just something like this to bother me, I suppose. But when it comes to this single as a whole, just like the songwriting itself, I think it's fine. Of course, I guess this is about like a one-sided, like, to quote 48 Request Hour, it is a one-sided love song that expresses the faint feeling of I can't say I love you, but I want you to notice me in the gaze through colored contact lenses. It's I guess kind of typical kind of idol fantasy sort of I want to say schlock, but I guess kitsch. The point I'm trying to make here is that like this is obviously kind of like a fantasy thing, and I'm sure there's a contingent of guys out there who is like, yes, I want to marry my Oshi, unironically, not like the funny people like who post ironic stuff on Twitter, but like genuinely like, oh, I'm gonna marry this member of the group, the center or whatever. She secretly likes me, she said so or whatever. Just tell me. That's kind of like, I don't know, but that's typical like idol stuff. I'm actually kind of surprised that AKB is still like doing songs like this, because I feel like this is a dead horse that is beyond dead at this point as far as lyrical content is concerned. But it's fine. And as you can tell, my nasal situation is getting worse the longer I talk. So I think this is where I'm going to call it, which is fine. That's good. I'm okay with that. You're probably not even watching anymore. I'm probably just talking to air at this point. So in any event, if you made it this far, let me know. Say gingerbread man. Leave it in the comments below. And if you do, I'll one day I'll make you a gingerbread man and give it to you if you ever come to Japan. So, or a cookie, I guess, like gingerbread cookie. Man, I love those. I wonder if we could get them out here. In any event, let me know what you thought about any of this, especially the song, in the comments below. I almost knocked something over. I will see you next time, hopefully soon, and hopefully my nasal situation gets better. In any event,